Hey guys, this is Constantine, English Speaking Club HSE, and I'm going to give answers to the questions for the next event, which is going to take place on Saturday, 6:30 Moscow time, the 3rd of September. So the topic is dangers. How do you protect yourself? And yeah, so as always, I just answered these questions. The answers might not be 100% comprehensive because there are lots of things that you can add there. So I'll just provide you with some information there. All right. So the first question is, what dangers exist in the modern world? And which one is the biggest for you? Okay, so the first question about the dangers. Well, there are a lot of them, and we can consider on one hand global dangers such as wars and potential risk of nuclear war, and also global warming, pollution, etc. So one of the most popular topics when you study at school or in college, when you have to describe global issues related to the environment. So there are a lot of them, and I'd say that right now, because the war is still going on, there is a certain risk that it will continue for a long time, and it's a little bit scary. But I think like in this scenario, it's kind of hard to protect yourself. There are definitely some measures. Here, I think we should talk more a little bit about some daily dangers that might happen to you. For example, if you go out at night and you might be robbed, or someone might threaten you, etc., etc. I think that in Russia it's pretty safe in general. However, some people might argue. I was living in Moscow this year and well, previously all of my entire life, and so far it was always pretty safe there for me. Even like in, well, 1990s, I don't really know because I was super young, but later when I was in high school, just in school, in high school and later, I didn't have any problems. Okay, right now I'm staying, well, most of the time I'm staying in Armenia, so it seems to be super safe here. And the same was in Georgia, so you don't need to worry, just walk along the street, and you can use your smartphone everywhere, and you don't worry about that. So yeah, I think it really depends on the location where you are. Okay, so and what is the biggest threat for me, or what is the biggest danger for me? Well, in general, I'm kind of scared of hackers and people who are able to use your personal data. And because, well, even though I try to use different passwords, but I really don't believe 100% that the protection system is really good. And if somebody really wants to use my personal data and steal information, they can definitely use that. And I think every person might be in danger. So this is the biggest threat for our century. All right, so how do you protect yourself from diseases? Next question. Okay, so first of all, I think a healthy lifestyle is very important. So you have a good diet and you try to eat healthy food every day. Go to gym, work out, keep your immune system on a high level. At the same time, some people will be for vaccinations, some people will be definitely against them. For me, one of the main reasons to get a vaccine here in Armenia was an ability to travel without taking this PCR tests, which is super inconvenient for me. However, yeah, even though some people might be against vaccines, I really believe that it's good, which makes your immune system more stable in general. So some kind of like small challenge. However, a lot of people will argue with me, and yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Okay, so, and of course, yeah, you should be very careful doing different stuff. When you try new food, when you travel, when you have a close communication with people you don't know, so you should be definitely careful to protect yourself and not get infected. Okay, so is it worth having health insurance? I think it's definitely worth it, especially if you live in the US. And well, in a lot of European countries, I think that healthcare services are very expensive. So you gotta have insurance. If you don't, you'll have serious problems. When you travel, I also think it's important to have insurance, even though the services might be cheaper, but you never know what's going to happen. And I think it's worth paying a certain amount of money per year than suffer when you're not insured. Next, what are the dangers while you're traveling? A lot of things can happen. So I think one of the biggest problems I think is being robbed, and in order not to be in this situation, you should be always careful. And I know that there are some places where it's not recommended to leave your stuff like unattended. For example, you leave your bag, or you ask someone to look to take care of it while you're away, for example, while you're swimming in the sea. But people won't care, and somebody can take something which belongs to you easily. And I don't really think that people should be careless about it. So when you leave your stuff, definitely make sure that you keep an eye on your items. I think cell phone is one of the most important things nowadays, because you get access to a lot of bank accounts and a lot of services, and it might be a little bit inconvenient to recover. And of course, cash. As for South America, so I am told that well, most times people recommend to take your stuff with you. Okay, sorry, the opposite, not to take your stuff with you, and just have a like some cash, just a little bit of cash, and a copy of your passport. But in my opinion, it's bullshit. I mean, like, well, it really depends who you are and how confident you are. But in general, yeah, I wouldn't leave my stuff somewhere, so I would always take the passport with me and things that I need. But in South America, you should be very careful where you are, what you're doing, who's looking at you, uh, and not be in situations when you might be threatened and robbed in general. So when I was in Brazil, I was super careful all the time, and I didn't have any problems. But yeah, you never know what might happen in the future. So being careful is very important. Not to show your cell phone everywhere, because a lot of times bicyclists might just take it from you while you're distracted, and not be in places when you can be threatened by three people with a knife or something like this. Yeah, you can prevent all the situations, but yeah, it's important to do maximum you can do. All right, what else? Yeah, I just spoke about the answer to the question how we can avoid them. Let's talk about extreme sports. And I used to be very interested in extreme sports like 10 years ago when I was younger and more stupid. Now, looking back, like I realized that how important life is, and like what is the most important is to have time to do things that you like to do. But if you get injured doing some extreme sports, you're basically limited. So you're not able to walk fast, run, and be as productive as you used to be. So on one hand, it could be really cool. So if extreme sports are not that dangerous, which is kind of weird because extreme sports are supposed to be dangerous, but okay, let's say you go like skiing or snowboarding. If you don't do some extra, like some crazy stuff, then you'll be all right. However, yeah, if you do it professionally, just be prepared for injuries, and make sure that you'll be happy being injured doing something at home on your computer, etc. Okay. All right. So these are the most important questions. I just don't want to take a lot of time for yours. So 8 minutes is enough. Okay, so just reminding you that every Saturday 6:30 we're having these meetings, and I hope these answers were useful. Okay, so if I speak too slowly, just use speed up a little bit, so watch it faster. And I'll try to come up with another video in Russian about learning English and some things that I come across while teaching. Okay, so see you guys later. Yeah, invite your friends to this meeting, so more people will join us and have a great time. And subscribe to this channel, you'll get a lot of interesting stuff here. Okay guys, see you later on Saturday. Bye.